This woman is married, but she started an online relationship with another man.
Was questioning my relationship with my husband after 50 years.
Richard and Nancy have drifted away in their marriage.
At this point, basically, we're roommates.
Almost 4 years now since this thing started.
And that's when she turned to online dating.
And he can take better care of me than my husband.
Join us as we uncover the truth about the man that Nancy allowed to come in between her and her husband.
Just seems to be very caring, more so compassionate, trustworthy, the look in his eye of compassion and love. The plane went down, the brakes were bad, and he ended up stuck in a jungle.
It crash lands in a jungle. I'm not making this up.
He didn't like that he was controlling me as far as not being able to get out and get him money.
The stores are even stopping her from buying gift cards at this point.
Over this amount of time, over $60,000.
Real quick, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
All right, guys, so I just got this new case in. It's a woman named Nancy.
I'm Nancy. I'm a very family-oriented person. Was also a teacher, played a horn in the band. A lot of boys in the family. 1 granddaughter and 2 great-granddaughters. My husband, his name is Richard, but everybody calls him Dick. So I met him next door the day after I got out of college. His uncle and aunt wanted us to meet him, and I was like, big deal. I had my hair in rollers and a bright pink top and shorts and bare feet. And he liked me because I was just a true person, and this is what you get. And we started going out, and then we broke up. Thought he was going to teach college, that he was going to teach school, and I was after him for his money, which I have yet to see. As we've gotten more toward the 59 years, I've realized that it's not as romantic, and he'd rather talk about sports. He loves baseball, he loves football, he used to play softball, he used to do track, and same with our oldest boy. We would go to concerts, we have gone to fanfare, we have gone to, to do country music things, but still it hasn't been the spark thing. It's been like you're taking somebody out to dinner and that's it. And I think at this point, basically, we're roommates. They usually say, the 7-year itch. That was about when it happened that he found someone else at work and left for a while. And then after a month later, came back. And it was okay for a while. It was new again. And then the same old thing. It was just the most important things are sports. In my 50s, I have gone out previously in the past, but it wasn't someone that I could have left him for. Probably about 3 or 4 people, different times, spread out. I said, why am I doing this? Why am I going somewhere else and then going home? It didn't make sense to me, but I knew he knew. You just know that when you're going out at night and not coming home until midnight to go to bed, but never ever asked anything. I hinted and said, that I'm not happy, and nothing about any changing at all.
So she's been married for 59 years. She thinks that he's into sports too much.
I just couldn't bring my heart to leave him. I would come home and I would see the look on his face and like he knew something, but wasn't going to do anything to change anything. It was up to me. So in order for me to change, either I was going to leave or I was just going to be under his control.
She has been seeing men in the past, and she would come home and her husband essentially knew that she was out cheating. She felt bad about doing it.
And then continues to do it, and then she's dating somebody else online. She obviously didn't feel that bad.
We had done counseling years ago, but he would not work on anything with the counselor, so it was lost. I worked on counseling for a while myself. As he said to me, you didn't stay in counseling. I said, if I had stayed in counseling, she was leading me toward divorcing you because you were not meeting my needs. I just felt again that I wasn't in love with him, and I didn't know if I could leave my kids.
And now she's turned to online dating. She's been dating this guy for 4 years.
Was questioning my relationship with my husband after 50 years. This time in my life, this guy came along, made a comment about a country star, and all of a sudden he texted me on Facebook and said he'd read about my comment and would I like to be friends. I thought, what the heck, I've never done that before, so I tried it. His first message is, I kind of liked your comment. Do you think you'd like to be friends? So I said, yeah. And he told me, let's go to WhatsApp. Well, never done that. And we were talking about his family and his wife, what she had done to him. And so he divorced her. We talked about his 3 daughters, a set of twins, and didn't say too much about where he was or anything except Scotland. We could have a very good friendship and talk about everything, which we did start to do that right away. And he was at the point where he enjoyed talking to me. And that's when I started being descriptive about my home life with him and being unhappy. And basically that was it. He's probably maybe like 5'10", I would say, with a football player type build, goatee, light hair, brown eyes, and a mustache. I can't figure out what nationality he is, but he said he's American. Nice looking to me. Just seems to be very caring, more so compassionate, trustworthy. The look in his eye of compassion and love for his children and his animals, and seems to be with me every day, every night. I mean, it's every day and every night I hear from him, and he, of course, asks me if I've taken my meds, my coffee, have I eaten. He wants me to take care of myself for him because he's going to take care of me. So I was upset and crying about, how controlling Dick seemed to be. I, couldn't even go out without an excuse, which meant I couldn't go out and get any money for him. He said, well, just say you're going to the store to get a loaf of bread. And I said, well, he doesn't get that. So he says, well, I think when I get there, we're going to take care of him. He said, I have a gun. I have a right to carry. Dick said to me, find out where he is. And I said, well, he's in a room. He said, well, let me talk to him. So Dick took the phone and he said, I'm in a effing room. What more do you want to know? He didn't like that he was controlling me as far as not being able to get out and get him money or go do Bitcoin for him. Because he was very demanding, more so. And he also had a brief text with Dick saying that he loves me very much and that he is coming to get me and he can take better care of me than Dick can.
As Nancy's love for Jeff grew, so did Jeff's issues. The problem began when Jeff took a contract to work on an offshore oil rig.
He was working on the rig and, even if he broke tools or whatever, he had to pay for them. When he said he could take a picture for me of the guys on the rig, then he said, after he took them, he said, now I'm in trouble. I've got to pay them or they're not going to let the guys have their paychecks and I can't get paid. So that was more money. That I believe that story. Probably within the first month, I'd say, he needed food. Then he needed money to help with his airfare that was going to fly him here. All of a sudden, I got a video of the plane and then heard a sound like the brakes or something. And then at one point the plane went down, the brakes were bad, and he ended up stuck in the jungle somewhere. I hadn't heard from him for like a couple of weeks after that, because he said the plane went down and this family took them in and they were staying with them until he got the parts to fix the plane, and he was gone every day in the forest with this guy to fix the plane. He said, "I'm sorry, I haven't been in touch." He says, "But I didn't want to scare you. I didn't want to worry you. When I sent you a picture of the plane," he said, and there was a problem with the brakes. We've been stuck here since."
In her story, she also talks about how the plane takes him off the oil rig when they're done with the job and starts to head to her. It crash lands in a jungle. I'm not making this up. So the plane crash lands in a jungle. Him and his friend William are in the jungle trying to figure out how to fix the plane. Both William and this guy are asking her for gift cards to fix the plane. So she sends money for equipment for the plane, parts for the plane, labor to get the plane fixed. So right now he is trapped somewhere in the jungle.
So all of this takes more time. And in the meantime, you got to feed everybody. Of course, then we have to have gas after that, you know. The plane has been repaired. They have to give it a run first to see if it can make it to wherever I am. He said that he had broken his leg running up the stairs of the plane because he was so excited to come get me that he broke his leg and had to go in the hospital.
It's like she wants to live this like fantasy life. You know, it's like Romancing the Stone, like all this like crazy shit that's like happening, and she's like so into it and like believing it.
And then he collapsed at one point and had to be put in the hospital for high blood pressure. That's what I was supposed to send him money today for, was his meds. They weren't going to let him out until he paid his bill. I had to come up with some of the rest of the money. I offered to send the money to the hospital, and I couldn't do that. He had to have the money to do it. So how long he was in the hospital, I don't remember now. And I sent a gift card for him to give the money to pay it. I had sent probably about $800 because I needed more money for food in order to have food stuff. That was what I sent him. He's ready to get on the plane now after he gets out of the hospital. I offered to go meet him there, and he said, no, that's not necessary. He was going to come to me. But for another reason, the excuse came up that he didn't make it. Again, his passport ran out and had to have the money. He was going to take care of it quick. Otherwise, he couldn't get off the plane in Bangor. Yeah, I sent him $500 on the 27th, but the plane that William has is still in Bangor now. He got caught there by some woman who said that he was a scammer and had him arrested and put in jail. They flew him supposedly from Maine to California and put him in jail, supposedly went to trial and had to pay this woman back $100,000. So he sold a house for whatever amount, and I had to come up with a few thousand beyond that to pay her off. And then they wouldn't let him out without paying for them to do some paperwork so he could prove, if he ever got caught again, that he wasn't a scammer. I said, I don't understand why they allow him to have his cell phone all the time. And he wouldn't answer that. And his friend come to visit him once in a while and bring him some food if I would send him some money, plus $5,000 to pay off this other person, one of his crew that he didn't finish paying. Wanted to go there to see at least when I could go, but there's no place for me. He's said that he's not a scammer, he's real. He will prove that to everyone when he comes. He's won me over by tears and sincerity and what he's said to me. Said all the right things and got me to care and keep giving my heart and my money as well, believing. The whole thing has been maxed out with all the cards over this amount of time, over $60,000.
So she's sent $60,000 worth of gift cards to this guy. The stores are even stopping her from buying gift cards at this point. She goes to the stores and the stores have all completely like cut her off from buying gift cards.
He's sincere. That's why I said I need to know, because if he's not real, then I can't continue. First of all, whether he is who he says he is he that person in the picture real? Why would he do that? Take my heart and make me feel overwhelmed by two situations, one staying and being unhappy, or the other not being sure of what's going on today or tomorrow with him. I would like to know the truth first, whether he's honest with me. As he said, he's never lied to me, but he's been evasive about many things. I would leave, yes, if I knew that he was the real person and this was not just a story. That is a lie. My husband doesn't want to lose me. I know he doesn't. And obviously he's done everything that he can think of to take care of me, to keep me here. I feel bad that all of this is taking place. I believe that at some point something had to shake everything up to get results from my husband, to maybe change some things. We find out that this is not true, then I need to work on more about what I need to do for me, regardless of Dick. But I need to know which way to go first.
Later that week, our research team got together to examine the evidence and see if we could put all of the details together to find out who the real person was in these images.
So she has a lot of family that is also telling her this is fake. So she has her sister in her ear, her husband is telling her.
So she obviously has some suspicion.
Yes. She's in love with this guy. She wants to know if the guy's real. I've spoke to her husband, but her husband doesn't want to get on camera. He did write Brie and I a message, an email here. I wrote this several months ago. The amount is over $60,000. Because she did not include much of the details I have in this note, I decided to send it now. I hope you can include it in your conversation or whether you try to identify her scammer. Thank you in advance for considering this. My name is Richard. My story is really my wife's story. For about 3 years, she has been in contact with a guy who calls himself Jeff Marshall. It began when she commented on Don Williams' video, which I think was on Facebook. He says this guy commented and turned it into a dialogue, which he quickly changed to another platform. Eventually, they went to WhatsApp, then moved to Telegram. March of 2022, he needed money to renew his passport, but the photo he sent was an expiring date in May of 2022. He claims that he went to the hospital and he needed money for his hospital fees. I think the amount has changed from week to week, but he's still needing more. Most of her Social Security, which he gets most months, plus a reimbursement of her health insurance premium.
She watches our channel, so she's seen all these Photoshops before. Mm-hmm. Why does she think he's real? Like, I guess that's the thing that's like, I mean,
he's won me over by tears and sincerity and what he's said to me. Said all the right things and got me to care and keep giving my heart and my money as well, believing.
Well, I guess the better question would be, what was the reason she came to us? Because there was some suspicions.
She wants to know if he's real or not. There's something in her that's like hoping that he's real. Yeah. So the only reason why she got this passport was because Richard asked her to tell the scammer to send some kind of ID, and this is what he sent.
So a typical
fake.
Yeah.
The portrait's pretty bad.
His name's not even spelled right on the bottom of the passport.
Well, it's right there. It's Jordan
Marhall.
Here's him on the oil rig. It gets worse, y'all.
So we have a list going right now. It's like the top 10 worst Photoshop images we've received in 2024. So this picture makes the list. Yeah. So we need to find the real guy in the image.
And here's the guy here. This is his friend Jeff and Williams. They're the ones that, this is Pilot.
Okay.
They're the ones that were in the jungle.
What do you think, David? IP tracker? Because he's asking for a gift card, right?
They're like talking all the time, huh? I think we use our fake banking website and try that.
So I have a message in here from her from this morning. She says, he knows that I get paid tomorrow, which would be today, and wants money for a phone card and a special meal, chicken and rice. If I can get a loan for $5,000, he will pay it off when he is here.
The website, right? So we like, hey, look, I got the loan. The money got deposited. We'll give a screenshot, and then it's a peer-to-peer. It's the only thing she could get approved because she's been sending him stuff, and then the scammer's gonna have to take it or lose it. How much does he want the loan for? $5,000? Done. Let's set it now. I'll send an email right now.
So while David was prepping a tracker, we had some questions for Richard. We gave him a call to get some answers.
So we just have a couple questions. You had reached out to us. I received your email last week and I was looking through it, and you had mentioned there's several details of this case that Nancy didn't disclose to us. Is that correct?
I think so, yes.
What was the reason that she didn't want to share that information?
I don't think it's a matter of not wanting, it's a matter of not remembering, if not all of it.
Okay. And you remember more of what happened than she did?
Not only remember more, but I've kept a lot of detail.
You don't feel like she was doing it on purpose, like leaving details on purpose?
No, I don't. No. She gave you what she could remember more or less off the top of her head.
And then, how do you feel about this whole situation that Nancy's gotten herself into?
It's been a real struggle because I keep everything that needed to be paid until recently. And I mean, other than that, I kept everything, afloat.
How would you say that this has impacted you guys financially?
Well, it obviously prevented us from being able to do some stuff that we could have done by now. I mean, it's almost 4 years now since this thing started, and we're getting a little older. I'll be 80 in 9 days. And, would have liked to have done more stuff. I know that the biggest impact for me is that I played very little golf. That's the money that I no longer had available.
Richard, how would you describe yours and Nancy's relationship as of now?
It's not great, but it's one of those situations where you can't continue as it is.
Yeah, so what it sounds like is you guys have somewhat of a separation in your marriage?
Not a true separation, other than that she has one of the world's worst sleep schedules. Now I started going to the gym again, so that's 3 days a week. But that's one of the casualties of the financial situation. Is 4 years have been that's been a problem because of COVID anyway. So
yeah, no, I can see how this has impacted you. So
yeah.
You're with Nancy. You guys are married, and she's talking to this other guy online. She's sending him money. Like, how does that make you feel?
That's hard to describe too. I kind of compare it to my mother's situation. My mother dealing with alcoholic relationship, and I'll see it to the end.
Okay, so you're in this no matter what.
Yeah.
So what do you think when we meet up with Nancy and we tell her what we found? I mean, you and I both know this is a scam. How do you think that she's going to take the information?
I honestly can't be sure without getting the earfuls. That's been the most difficult part of it.
The other understanding that I have too, Richard, is that this isn't the first time she's spoken to someone online, correct?
I don't know for sure.
Are there any other relationships outside of the internet, or any other relationships that she's had with other men that you know of?
Yes, we're both guilty of that a little bit.
Both of you are guilty of that.
Yeah.
You know, your guys' relationship is your relationship, you know, and we're not here to like counsel you guys through that, but do you think that us helping, let's say we are successful with helping her block this scammer, do you think it'll help your relationship?
Well, I hope it will. I can't say for sure, how much impact it will have, but more assistance on the financial side so we can do things that we currently don't do because of the situation. That should improve the relationship some. Some of the other stuff probably won't change.
So more so the stress from the financial side of things. Well, we're going to continue looking into this information. We should have all of our answers for Nancy by end of day, and then we meet with her tomorrow. So, be sure to stick around or be in the same room as her to hear what we have to say. But we'll be delivering all of the information tomorrow. Well, you seem like a really nice, cool guy, Richard. And one of the reasons also why I wanted to have this conversation is because of that initial email. You reached out to us, and I can tell that you really care about Nancy and you want us to look into everything for her.
That's true, yes.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, if you don't have any questions for us, we're going to meet with Nancy tomorrow, and then we'll do a check-in after that.
Okay, yeah, great.
All right, talk to you soon.
Okay, then.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Why?
After a few days of researching, our team was ready to reveal the truth to Nancy about who Jeff really was. It was time to sit down with Nancy and Richard and let them know what we had found. If you found yourself in a similar situation to Richard or Nancy, and you want to help a friend or a family member find out the truth about the person that they've been communicating with online, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Share my story at socialcatfish.com. We can find the answers that you're looking for.
Let's hop into it. How are you doing, Nancy?
I'm kind of scattered with my feelings
With what?
with Dick and Jeff wanting money, and all of that is very wearing because it's like you don't always hear from them, and then when there's a demand for money, you can hear all day long, and then you don't hear if you send the money. Like he's lowered it now from the 5,000 down to, can you get me 500 today? I said, I don't know, I'm working on it.
So we have Richard here in the car with you right now, right?
With his arms folded and his eyes closed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, how comfortable is that?
Tell him to uncross those arms. That means he's
Uncross
defensive.
your arms, Dick.
Brought my book.
Should have brought his book. Yeah. Which one? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Now being recorded.
Oh, good.
So be
I'll shut
careful, Dick.
How is Richard feeling about all of this?
up. I'm just hoping we get to some kind of resolution that works.
For
Yeah.
everyone.
And by works, I mean stuff the money flow that
Oh, yeah.
should not have
Yeah.
been happening.
He does. So what he's saying, I think, is that he wouldn't care if I talk to him just as long as I don't send him any money.
What kind of relationship is that? Like, you guys have been married for 50 years.
58.
So what is it about this relationship that you are continuing with Jeff that's so different from yours and Richard's relationship?
The talk about caring for each other, even if it's on the phone, conversations that Jeff and I have about relationships that Dick and I do not have, because Dick will not talk about any intimate relationship part of the marriage at all. Where Jeff and I have never met, but we both have talked about how we would like it to be and how it will be when we are together forever and ever. Because I can go anywhere with anyone and discuss sexual relationships with the next door neighbor if I didn't even know them. It goes from distant conversations to intimate relationships with people because they feel like they're talking to me about it, and I do as well. And Dick doesn't like to talk about it at all.
So, Richard, how does that make you feel when you hear Nancy say this out loud?
That's kind of a mixed thing because it can't be talked about without certain impressions that she seems to have that may or may not always be correct getting in the way.
For instance, I think they need an example, like I need an example. So what if I were to say to you, why don't we have intimate relations? And your answer back would be, because it's not something I really need.
No, that's not the answer.
That would not be your answer?
No,
It has been.
I've never said that.
Okay. Do you want me to say what you say?
Well, see, that's exactly what I just
Okay.
referred to a minute ago.
Well, okay. If I use the word intimate relationships and say sexual relationships, and you say to me, you don't think it's all that it's cracked up to be, what impression would you get if you were me? That's been your reply. That has been your reply. That it's not it's true. Like if someone was ill, it would totally be different. But that does not mean that the other spouse would not need those feelings met. And if the relationship is okay as far as health concerned, there should be a middle ground that we could go to for each other. Even if one is interested and not doing anything about it, then what is the other supposed to do that requires it? Dick, are you here?
I'm
Okay, what's your answer?
right. I think that should be answering. I don't
Why?
think that's why we're trying to do this. We're trying to find out about Jeff or no Jeff,
Well,
which is more important to clear up first.
yes, but what I'm saying is the discussions that Jeff and I have had is never land, and we never have to grow up or get old or die, because
Well,
we'll be together in heaven on earth. Even though some of this may be
Pie in the sky.
Cinderella and the prince, I mean, you can meet somewhere in the middle. But I do agree that there has to be counseling.
Have you guys tried counseling?
We did a long time ago.
Don't much.
Not much, because Dick would not do the required homework.
I don't remember ever being asked to do any
See,
homework.
so
See,
it's
that's-
selective memory on
Yeah.
both our parts. And whenever I say something, he says he doesn't remember that. So this is where we're at. Whatever I say, I don't remember saying that, or I don't remember that discussion. So then I leave it and stay involved where I am, because at least I can express my feelings without someone turning away or closing their eyes or leaving the room.
But it seems like Richard's here for a reason, right? Richard, how do you feel about Nancy?
I don't know. It's hard to answer that because if I try to answer it, I'm going to get the same kind of stuff that we've been getting for the last 5 minutes. So, I mean, that's the normal way that those discussions go.
That's what's confusing for me, because if I'm sitting next to my husband and you ask me, what do I think of my husband? I'm going to say, well, I love him. I care about him. I want the best for him.
Something along those lines.
Those are all true, but once you get beyond that 3 or 4 basic things, you start talking about other stuff, it's always going to turn back on me, no matter what.
But Richard, why not just say those things? When I say, what do you're here because you care about Nancy, and then I open the floor for you to say how you feel about Nancy, and you say you don't know how to answer that question.
I guess probably so, yeah.
But I can tell you a remark that he told me that he answered you, Bree, when you talked to him about how he felt about the money situation. As long as he can meet those requirements as a couple and pay the bills as best he can, what he would like to have a little left over for is the golf that he hasn't got to play. Now, I didn't like that answer because in no way does that have to do with me, because when he goes to play golf, which he's very particular as to who he plays with, because they have to be at least as good as he feels he is. And he ends up going with our oldest son, David, who mostly pays for it. But this is the answer that he gave you, is that no mention of us doing something together. The answer was that he'd like to have some money left for golf. Not so Nancy and I can take a trip together and afford it. The answer was golf.
I'm not going to side with either of you because I know things about both of you. You both have done dirt. But you're sending money to this guy that you've never met online. And at the same time, he's not willing to compromise. It's either like you guys try to figure it out or it's just going to continue to be toxic. You complaining about each other is not going to help the situation.
No.
You know?
No.
Honestly, Nancy, we're not marriage therapists.
We are not. We are
counselors of any sort. With that being said, if you and Richard decide that's a step you want to take in the future after all of this, we want to help you guys out. We want to connect you with resources if you guys are both willing and want to participate in that. It just sounds like you are who you are, Nancy. Richard is who he is. You guys have been married for 58 years. You guys know each other inside and out. And so that's a decision you two have to make.
Right.
Let's get to why we're meeting up today. Let's X this problem out of your life. So what exactly are you looking to get out of this meeting today?
Well, hopefully be able to prove that what everyone has said.
Is there music in the background?
No, it's my phone. It's probably Jeff wanting to know where the money is.
Answer Jeff.
Because he's the only one that's been calling.
His ears are ringing.
Hello.
Hello?
How are you?
Can you hear me?
It's me.
I know, baby. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay. So,
I know, baby. All is going to be fine. Okay?
yes. You sure?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Where are you right now?
I'm sitting in the car. I just, have I what?
Have you gone to the credit union?
No, I haven't. I've been waiting to go, but like I said, I'm not too anxious to see if they're flagging my account, because they told me that I couldn't, my restaurant bill was denied yesterday. So, and I called and they said money was available, but that just means that I've paid off the overdraft.
Okay.
So
So what's going to happen right now?
what's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know what to do next. I know that Dick is trying to trace everything to see if you're scamming me still. Remember I told you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I don't know. What are you doing today?
Play right there. I miss you so much, my baby.
I miss you too.
You know you're alive.
Yeah. So, have you talked to the girls?
Yeah.
Yeah. How are they? Yeah.
I just told them that they're moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to be together.
You told them they were going to be together soon. Yeah.
Keep that thing in growth.
Yeah. All right. So,
I have it.
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so can you send me some money today?
Can I send you some money? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll
Can you send me today so I can help you?
okay. I'll
How much?
try to see how much I can send you.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, Seekers, Nancy only told the scammer that she was going to send him money because we've been working on trying to track his location and reveal his face.
Okay, and give me a call back. And I love you.
Bye. I love you too. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye now.
So that's it. What'd you think of the voice?
What do you think of that voice?
I cannot tell. To me, it may be, I mean, when I've heard other Nigerians on TV, it could be. But other than that, I don't know.
It's not Texas.
It's not Texas for sure, because supposedly that's where, well, he grew up for 15 years in Germany, but he was born in Texas.
I have a list of things that I want to go over with you first. And you listen to what Brienne has brought today, and then I'll tell you what kind of voice that is at the end.
Okay.
So we started with the passport that Jeff had sent over to you. Would you mind just giving us a rundown as to why he would even share that with you?
Because Dick asked for it. Dick asked to see it, and I sent the picture of it to Dick.
I thought it's junk.
Yeah.
After we reviewed the passport, we noticed right away that this wasn't a valid passport. The signature doesn't match his name. We also noticed just these little grammatical errors as far as the state and the city. There's no comma in between. It's just these little errors that tell us right away that this is not a valid passport.
I knew it, but I didn't really want to believe it, like all this time with everything else. The promise of, obviously you could hear, be together forever and ever, and love me and kisses and misses me and all that, which I miss that every day too, although I do get a kiss goodnight.
From Richard?
I hope so. That's the only one that sleeps in my bed.
Good.
For all these years, it's always been.
Referencing the passport, is this like an act of a person that, is being truthful about their identity?
Definitely not. And I think I've renewed that farm, haven't I, Dick? At least once, given him money for that.
You gave him money to renew it. Around the time that we got that picture.
You're smarter. You looked at that passport and you knew it wasn't legitimate, right?
I guess. Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
After listening to Nancy go on about how she appreciated Jeff because he showed her love and compassion, it left us wondering if she knew this guy was fake the whole time. Her family and all of her friends had already told her that these images that Jeff was sending her were false. Our team had even more to reveal to Nancy. Almost everything that Jeff sent her seemed to be altered or fake.
I wanted to talk to you about this picture that Jeff sent. He's wearing red pants. He's sitting with two guys in a locker room.
He's supposed to be on the oil rig in the Red Sea with his crew.
So after he sent you this picture, you had to send him money?
Yep.
How much?
Oh, God. Probably $1,000 back then.
So this image right here cost you $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does anything look off about the photo to you?
Yeah, he's the only one that had a clean face and clean hands. I said that was nice that he cleaned up for the picture.
That's the only thing you saw in this photo is his face is clean and his hands are clean.
Yeah.
Okay, Nancy, so we ran a reverse image search from Social Catfish, and we found hundreds of matches. Hundreds of matches of this image right here. It's actually a stock image. And the original image does not have Jeff's picture in it at all. So this is a photoshopped image. So somebody took a picture of Jeff, of his face, and placed it on top of this image. They layered this image. This is not an original image. It's been photoshopped.
Oh, wow.
Why would Jeff go through all this trouble to Photoshop this image?
Right.
I'll tell you why, because you sent him $1,000 for this image.
Well, I'm thinking that two things add up so far. I'm wondering where some of the other pictures, of course, were done, or who they are, or if you know that he's not Jeff Marshall, or is he Jeff Marshall? And
Why would he be Jeff Marshall if he's sending you all of this false information? You want to believe this so bad, and you know what the answer is.
And the other pictures are not Jeff.
No, they're not Jeff. And Brienne can explain that.
What we did was we ran all of his images through our reverse image search, and we were able to find a match, and we were able to also find the identity of this person in the image.
Okay.
And so the real person in the image, his name is Antonio Strahl.
Oh my God.
So Antonio is a social media influencer, which is why he has hundreds of images on his profile. It's easy for someone to target him because he has so many images and videos
Of him doing various things. He's hiking, he's at his house, he's with his dog, he's hanging out at the bar. There's so many photos for a romance scammer to create a story around.
It turns out that Jeff was not this innocent man in these images, and it seemed that Nancy was taking it well. She had already knew everything that we had gone over prior to this interview, but why did she believe it now?
As we're going through this information, it seems like you already knew, or you had somebody already explain to you what we brought you today. What's the difference between Brienne and I telling you this and
Richard
or whoever? Your sister's telling you that it's fake. I'm sure the rest of your family, your friends, everyone's telling you it's fake.
Well, I guess it's like sometimes when you meet a stranger, they become a friend, because things that you talk about that family don't wish to talk to you about without being open and honest, you can talk to friends about it, and you can talk to strangers sometimes better than you can talk to your friends or your family. And that's the kind of person that I am, that sometimes I can talk to family about it, but if I talk to Dick about the same thing, he walks away or turns his head or whatever. But I could talk to a stranger and have their attention more so than I would Dick, who's been with me for 58 years. They don't have to stay very long to visit with me, and we can find out a lot about them.
Is the reason why you stay in this is because you're resentful towards Richard?
Yes. Because been upset with him about not being open and honest with me about things. Just going ahead and doing things without telling me.
But you knew it was fake, right?
70-30, yeah.
That 70% that he's real?
No. 30% that he's real. 70% that I really hoped and prayed that he was. So so I wouldn't have to stop making any really stupid mistakes, I guess. But even though I know they would be, to just walk away from Dick and I,
Yeah.
after this long and this big a family, you can't turn off that completely without a lot of problems coming back hit you.
One of the other reasons why you've engaged in this relationship with Jeff is because of things that are lacking between you and Richard.
Yeah, you're right. It's been very hard, and then, like I said, when he came along, it's like it was the right time.
But do you really want to walk away from yours and Richard's relationship?
The way it is now, yes. Without work on it, yes. Being alone to work on it, I don't know if I could do that because I've never been alone.
Let me just tell you a little bit about the person that you're communicating with and that's giving you all of this love. This person is from Nigeria, 100%. As soon as you picked up the phone and I heard his voice, I could tell that he was from Nigeria. Anybody can romance scam, anybody can catfish all around the world, but the best ones that do it come from Nigeria. If you're gonna be resentful towards anybody, it should be towards this scammer, because he's gonna ruin your life if you continue to go down the path that you're going down with sending gift cards and had you close down bank accounts, rack up credit card debt. It's only gonna get worse and worse and worse, and that's all he cares about. He doesn't love you. He's just here for money.
And I feel very guilty about it, even though Dick has said, don't worry about it, it's in the past, we'll handle it. I just feel the guilt that I should take some responsibility to help him. And even Jeff has talked to Dick in a text while we're all there, telling him that he loves me more than he can ever say, and that he could take care of me a lot better than Dick could.
But he hasn't taken care of you because you've been sending him, so you're taking care of him.
He's playing you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But I want you to just understand, every time you send a gift card, you're burning money.
With gift cards, in most cases, we don't see any of those funds coming back your way.
Right.
So once you send money through a gift card, it's pretty much gone in most cases.
Yeah.
And there's also no way to track the funds. This is why Jeff has chosen this type of payment.
Right. Yes, because I have offered, when he wanted money to pay his hospital bill, I have offered to get in touch with the financial department of the hospital and, send them a check. No, can't do that. Rather pay with a gift card and let me handle it. And yeah.
Yep. Because he's hiding behind the gift cards. Mm-hmm. He's hiding behind this innocent guy's image. Mm-hmm. He's hiding behind VoIP phone numbers, and all of this stuff is all false. He's taking the gift card and then he's going to a website and he's selling it for 90 cents off the dollar, and then it goes into his pocket.
So Nancy, at this point, everything we've covered in regard to the money that was lost, the gift cards, we recommend that you file a police report with your local law enforcement.
Right. Okay.
But Nancy,
don't send him any more money.
Oh, yeah.
No.
What did you all think? Is Nancy done with this fake profile of Jeff, or is she going to continue to keep talking to him? Comment down below.
Well, the reason we came to you is because we have watched just about all of your catfish expeditions, I should say, and seen you help many people. So we knew that you were the people to do this to help me regain my sanity and get back our marriage, what number of years we may have left to celebrate.
Do you feel like the shackles have been broken and you feel free of this guy today?
Yes. Yes.
Let's work on that tracker so that you could block him as soon as possible.
Okay.
All right, Nancy, we're gonna do a check-in on probably Thursday. We actually want to bring you in on a live.
Okay.
But we want to bring you and Richard on, and we want to make sure that you guys are left better off than the way that we met you. So I appreciate both of you. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
It was nice meeting you guys.
Nice to meet
Nice
you
meeting
too.
We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
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 Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, Seekers, we offered counseling up to Richard and Nancy, and they are now looking to patch up their relationship and decided to stay married. We'll be going live again this Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will deliver a live update from Richard and Nancy's plans for their relationship, where Nancy is with Jeff, and hopefully reveal some more information on this scammer she's been communicating with. This will all be going down this Friday. Do not forget to join us, Seekers. Thank you all for watching. If you have been involved in a romance scam, don't forget to report it. It helps get the word out and potentially stops other people from being scammed. Thanks for watching. Remember, all of our new videos go out every Wednesday. See you guys next week.